What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about draft prospect Odunze. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about wide receiver Odunze. He goes about 6'3", 200 pounds. He is the wide receiver that played his college ball at the University of Washington. And he had a really good season last year with the Washington Huskies. He helped the Washington Huskies reach the national championship where they fell short to the Michigan Wolverines. But I definitely think that the Falcons could possibly consider Odunze in this draft at 8. If the Falcons decide not to draft a wide receiver, and if they possibly trade back, or if they stay at 8, I do believe that Odunze is right up there with the upper echelon wide receivers. And if the Falcons somehow believe that Drake London isn't a #1 wide receiver, or if the Falcons decide that they may want to, move on or trade a Kyle Pitts, depending on what type of offense Zach Robinson is looking to run here with our Atlanta Falcons with that 3 wide receiver one running back set. If they decide to move on from a Kyle Pitts or not pick up that 5th-year option, I could definitely see the Falcons possibly going with a guy like Odunze. He is one of those guys that's very explosive. He's a guy that runs a 4.3 40, and he's one of those guys that can run every route on the route tree. And he had a really, really good season last year at Washington, over 1,600 yards receiving. I believe he had about 15 touchdowns, but he was one of those guys that was very explosive. Between him and Michael Penix Jr. throwing him the football, they really lit up scoreboards and things of that nature. But Odunze is one of those guys that I think would fit in this, Rams, Sean McVay type offense where it's kind of spread out, similar to what he did at Washington with the Washington Huskies, as far as it's spread out, 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers on the field majority of the times. And because he's one of those guys that can run every route on the route tree, he's one of those guys that can score from anywhere on the field. He's one of those guys not only that can take the top off the defense, but he also can, take those short slant routes and, those short routes to the house, because he gets a lot of yak yardage, run after catch. And because he's 6'2", 200 pounds, he's one of those guys in open field that's hard to bring down. And he's very, very good at catching the ball with his hands. He has very strong hands. He wins majority of the 50-50 balls that are thrown his way, similar to a Drake London. And if you somehow add him to this Atlanta Falcons roster, I really think that we'll have one of the better 1-2 punches in the NFL if he turns out to be the player he was in college. And if you go look at this guy's tape, he is a monster as far as he's hard to stop. He's very hard to stop. You're going to have to play, a safety over the top of him. You're not going to be able to man him up one-on-one, because he's one of those guys that wins most of those one-on-one matchups. At least on the college level, he won a lot of those one-on-one matchups. So I definitely think that Odunze could be at play for the Atlanta Falcons at 8, because we don't know where the Falcons are going to go as far as quarterback. If they decide to trade for a guy in Justin Fields, they possibly still will have that #1 or 1st-round draft pick. And if somehow we still have a 1st-round draft pick and we get that quarterback on this roster, whether it's Desmond Ridder, whether it's, trading for Justin Fields, or maybe even possibly, trading up or drafting in the 2nd round of Michael Penix Jr. If somehow Michael Penix slides in this draft and is not taken in the 1st round, and we pick up a guy like Odunze in the 1st round, you could possibly draft the Michael Penix Jr. in the 2nd round to pair with his former teammate. So I definitely think that this is very interesting. This 8th pick for the 1st-round pick for our Atlanta Falcons, because we can go in a lot of different directions. But I definitely think that Odunze is one of those guys that the Falcons definitely should consider. He is one of those guys that's a freak athlete. As I mentioned, 6'2", 200+ pounds, and runs a 4.3 40. So he's one of those guys that's a burner, and he can run every route. He can take the top off the defense. He's going to be possibly a #1, no less than a #2 wide receiver in the league. And if you pair him somehow with a Drake London and Rome Odunze, or even pair him, with Rome Odunze, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, you could have a trio that's really, really hard to stop in the passing game. And with us having Bijan Robinson, a guy who's a flex running back who can play wide receiver as well and can do some things as far as catching the ball out of the backfield, I really feel like we could have a really, really, really explosive offense. So I definitely think that Rome Odunze could be at play, but you guys give me your thoughts on Rome Odunze possibly being an Atlanta Falcon. If the Falcons decide to trade for a quarterback, we could possibly still have the option to go wide receiver. Personally, I wouldn't go with a wide receiver. I would draft on the defensive side of the ball. But if the Falcons decide to go with an offensive player, I definitely think that Rome Odunze would be one of the top guys that I would go with if they decide to draft another wide receiver. Being that we only have Drake London, currently under contract, we're definitely going to have to draft some wide receivers in this draft at some point, whether it's in the first round or whether it's later on in the draft. But with that being said, I thank you guys for continuing to support the channel. As I mentioned, if you enjoy my content, hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. I'm going to keep a lot of this content coming for you guys, so just stay tuned. We have a lot coming up: free agency, the NFL draft, so the NFL Combine. So you guys stay tuned to the channel. I have a lot more coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.